do want to get your thoughts on the Dubois-Usyk rematch. You've seen the face-off on the pitch, the push by Dubois. Dubois is on a good run of form of late. He's beat Joshua, he's beat Hrgovic, he's beat Jarrell Miller. So he's doing very, very well. And we're probably this is probably the best, a prime Daniel Dubois against an Usyk who is getting a little bit older, maybe. Oh, so what's going to happen? Let me talk to me. What's going to happen in the rematch?
The same, because Usyk, nobody, I think, except me for right now, because he beat everyone.
Martin Bakole claims he's the only man who can stop Alexander Usyk, dismissing Daniel Dubois as hopeless in their upcoming rematch.
Because I don't know that the one to Wilders, I think, is done. But Usyk is boxing man, a boxing brain. The boxing movement, I don't think no one will stop him right now, except Martin Bakole.
Martin Bakole stirred up controversy recently by boldly declaring that he had already stopped both Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois in sparring, and even claimed he's the only man capable of beating Usyk. Speaking with full confidence, Bakole dismissed Dubois' chances in the upcoming rematch, saying everyone already knows Usyk is going to win again. His comments weren't just casual predictions, they carried a tone of finality, as if the July 19th bout at Wembley Stadium is merely a formality. According to him, Dubois lacks the boxing IQ needed to deal with someone as tricky and experienced as Usyk. While sparring is a different beast than actual fights, Bakole's statements lit a fire under what was already a highly anticipated showdown.
I know why I'm saying that, because I learned box from my brother with Saxpo. Not only learn from that, but I know how to stop and cross the ring. But Daniel Dubois does. I was respecting the Usyk to get beat by Gypsy King, but I was surprised, shocked. He beat Gypsy King twice. And Joshua is good, it's a tough guy, but he doesn't know how to cross the ring. That's the reason why you see Usyk is schooling them. I think Daniel Dubois will never change. He'll just keep his style, but Usyk is more higher than him, and he's going to keep the same thing, same stuff, just try to avoid that box shot.
This rematch between Usyk and Dubois isn't just about two elite heavyweights clashing. It's a convergence of legacy, redemption, and possibly the crowning of a new undisputed champion. Currently, Usyk holds the WBA, WBO, and WBC belts, while Dubois carries the IBF strap, which became available after Usyk vacated it to honor a rematch clause with Tyson Fury. The stakes couldn't be higher, as all four major heavyweight titles will be on the line. Their first meeting in August 2023 ended in a 9th round stoppage victory for Usyk, but the controversy surrounding a 5th round body shot still lingers. Dubois landed a punch that sent Usyk to the canvas, but the referee ruled it a low blow, giving Usyk time to recover. This decision has since divided fans and experts alike, with some arguing that Dubois was robbed of a legitimate knockdown and possibly the win. The debate only intensifies with each passing day, adding more tension to the rematch.
You still try to tell us that 2 years ago in Poland, you beat Alexander Usyk.
It was about that, it was, in my opinion, that was a proper body shot. I mean, I could go over it and over it, but it was a body shot that landed, and now I have a chance to clear up the controversy, just right to say it clean. I've come back, you guys have seen I've come back a new man, a different man, a new fighter, and I'm just excited to show that I'm on the rise.
Alexander, do you still insist it was a low blow? You had 4 minutes to recover.
Listen, first fight it was in the past. Now I live in now, present. I show you one picture. If maybe it's not clean, was clean punch. Just a moment, please.
Alexander is looking for a picture in his phone. Simon Jordan is looking over Alexander Usyk's shoulder, looking for that same picture.
How do you think?
Well, you're going to tell us that this was not a low blow.
That wasn't the same punch.
All right, that's a punch, isn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't the same punch.
It's one punch. One off.
I've been punched in the stomach by sparring partners, and I've been kicked in the groin by ex-girlfriends. When you got hit around that area, what did it feel like?
Це було боляче, it was pain. The pain that makes you sick in the groin, or the pain that makes you gasp in the belly?
You know, like a punch and like a seat, and like a up, down, up, down.
But it was a body shot. It was a body shot.
Okay, bro.
That was clear.
It was in the past. Okay, body shot. Body shot,
Yep.
bro. What is body shot?
Body shot, man.
Like a body shot.
I'll
body
show
shot.
you again.
Body shot. It's
I'll
like
show you
this. It's
again.
not this.
That wasn't there. You didn't go like that.
Listen, my friend.
I think one thing
What's
that
going
fans
on? This body shot. This body shot. It's not. It's,
okay.
it's not only one punch. It's not only one. You punch every time. I don't know who you talk to. Punch like both and Usyk. Listen, you boxer. You're not fighter MMA. You boxer, Daniel, world champion. Hey, guy,
Come on.
smile.
Come on.
And the
Come
point
on.
is, that groin protector,
Huh?
like the groin protector, if you push that and hit that, it all moves. So you don't have to punch right on it
Yeah,
to pressure it.
yeah, bro. Now is like a story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was in the past.
Yeah.
We have now new fight. We have today, present.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Future, I don't know. In the past, today.
Since that fight, both men have had defining moments in their careers. Usyk went on to face Tyson Fury twice in 2024, beating the British giant both times. These wins cemented his place in boxing history as the undisputed champion in the four-belt era, an accomplishment that few in the sport have reached. However, the rematch clause with Fury forced him to relinquish the IBF title, which created an unexpected opening for Dubois. Dubois capitalized on the opportunity by stopping the previously unbeaten Filip Hrgović in June 2024 to capture the IBF crown. That victory alone would have raised eyebrows, but he followed it up with an even more shocking result, knocking out two-time world champion Anthony Joshua in the 5th round just a few months later in September. These performances not only changed how fans viewed Dubois, but also transformed him into a legitimate threat at the elite level.
Do you think that shot was low, or do you think he milked it? I'll give you a clue. Frank Warren's already said he'd never been more sure of anything in the world that it was a legitimate shot, and that Alexander Usyk was looking for a way out. They're his words, not mine. What do you say?
I believe that's the truth. I was there. I landed a shot. It was on the button, but you know, he milked it. The crowd, and you know, just the political environment that was going on at the time. It wasn't just a fight. It was bigger than that. And other things that happened in the background of that. So here we are, another chance to correct history and clear out the controversy.
Despite this resurgence, many in the boxing world remain skeptical about Dubois' chances in the rematch. Undefeated British heavyweight Fabio Wardley, currently ranked #1 by the WBA, has shared the ring with both fighters in sparring. Wardley acknowledged Dubois' improvement, but maintained that the fight would likely play out the same way as their first encounter. From his perspective, Usyk's ring intelligence, footwork, and adaptability make him an incredibly difficult puzzle to solve.
Still a fantastic fight regardless. Obviously, Dubois had a bit of growing since his first time out with Usyk. So, yeah, it still makes for a very intriguing fight, but I do think for the most part it's pretty much going to go the same way. Not to take anything away from Daniel and his progression over time, but ultimately I just think Usyk is a hard man to bet against at the moment.
Former world champions and boxing legends have also weighed in, offering a wide range of opinions. Tony Bellew, who fought and lost to Usyk in 2018, continues to view the Ukrainian as the best heavyweight of the era. He praised Usyk's mental strength and technical brilliance, pointing out that Dubois, despite his improved form, had already quit once against him. Bellew's confidence in Usyk is rooted in experience and admiration for his consistent dominance.
Daniel Dubois, he challenged Usyk in the ring after the fight.
These guys are begging now for the payday because they know who the king is.
That's right.
And these guys need him. He doesn't need them. No. Alexander Usyk can choose to fight whoever he wants. He is now the draw in the heavyweight division. He is the big name. Yeah. And I take my hat off to Anthony Joshua and I take my hat off to Tyson Fury because they had the cojones to face him, as did Daniel Dubois. But let's not get away from anything. Daniel Dubois fought him once and we've seen how that fight went. Yeah. Everyone goes on about a shot. Let's just be brutally honest, it hit the protector. Why is it called a protector? Because it protects you from certain shots. Was it like, did anyone look at the belt line of Tyson Fury before the fight?
It was high, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was,
really
I mean,
high.
I was going to ask what's the neck on them shorts. But
sure.
it was nuts. But no one said anything.
No.
But then ultimately when Alexander Usyk fights Daniel Dubois and his shorts are on his navel and you can clearly see his belly button at times in the fight, no one said, all of a sudden his shorts are high.
That's
so
a good point.
it's whatever suits people's narrative and agendas at the time. For people who are Fury fans, they want to say Usyk's done this or he's robbed that. For people who are Dubois fans, just look at the cold, hard facts. He hits him on the protector. The protector's called the protector for a reason. And then ultimately, look at how the fight ended up. I mean, he had enough.
On his knees, wasn't he? By the end, on one knee.
Carl Froch, another respected voice in British boxing, offered a slightly more balanced perspective. Froch acknowledged that Dubois has grown significantly as a fighter, particularly after his emphatic win over Joshua. According to Froch, Dubois is no longer the hesitant fighter who faced Usyk the first time. He now believes in himself and has developed the tools to compete at the highest level. Still, Froch couldn't bring himself to pick against Usyk, citing the Ukrainian's superior discipline and boxing IQ.
So, as I mentioned at the start, I'm here for the rematch for Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois, second time. The first time they fought, Dubois got stopped with a heavy, stiff-looking jab from the southpaw position, and people questioned his desire and heart for the game, saying that he kind of quit. I mean, he did get dropped with a right hand, and he did just stand up in time, like 9 seconds, and the referee waved it off. But he had a really good fight. He really did give Usyk something to think about. He hit him with that low blow. It was borderline. It wasn't straight in the crown jewels, but it was a low blow, and the referee declared it no knockdown. And a big fuss and song and dance was made about it being a low blow. Frank Warren made a big deal about it, and fair enough. I mean, Dubois put Usyk on the floor, and it was borderline, and you've probably seen everything. It was ruled a low blow, so it didn't go in Daniel Dubois' favour. Usyk got 4 or 5 minutes to recover, climbed off the floor, and then ended up stopping Daniel Dubois with a solid right hand. I think it was round 9, and yeah, won the fight, defended his titles. But this is the rematch, and Dubois is a different animal. He's a better fighter now. He's had some great wins against Jarrell Miller, Hrgovic. He absolutely splattered Anthony Joshua. We've seen that fight, and he's now full of confidence. He's on the crest of a wave, and he's a guy now getting into the ring really, really solidly, believing in himself. He's like a new fighter. He's now IBF world champion. He's not beaten the champ to get the title. It's like...
Dillian White added another layer to the discussion by pointing out Dubois' past inconsistencies. He referenced Dubois' previous defeats, including the loss to Joe Joyce and his initial bout with Usyk, as examples of moments where the British fighter didn't rise to the occasion. However, White also gave Dubois credit for turning things around and highlighted his current momentum. He mentioned that Usyk has been hurt in previous fights, which gives Dubois a legitimate path to victory if he can find the right openings.
Wrong with you. But anyway, I think it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight because obviously they met before. Obviously, you just have to see what Dubois turned up and what Usyk turned up. You know, obviously Usyk's very consistent. Usyk's very, very consistent. Dubois has been consistent, but he's had some inconsistency in his career as well. You know what I mean? Obviously the two ones that stick out is against Usyk and against Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know. But Usyk has always been consistent. You know, this fights he's been hurt, fights he's been, you know, wobbled and stuff, and he's such a consistent professional. You know what I mean? But Dubois has got power and he's got confidence, and right now he's flying high at the minute. So it's hard to pick a winner right now.
Lennox Lewis, the former undisputed heavyweight champion, didn't hold back in his assessment of the situation. He argued that Dubois exposed Usyk's weakness in their first fight and should have been awarded the win if not for what he saw as an unfair ruling by the referee. Lewis insisted that Dubois now knows where Usyk is vulnerable and believes the Brit has the tools to finish the job this time around. His comments reignited the controversy surrounding the body shot and added extra heat to the build-up for the rematch.
I'm thinking he's ready. You know, he's been through the trials and tribulations. He's the King Slayer, and he's got the power. He's been there before, so he was just there. He knocked the guy down, so he knows what he needs to do. So it would be great for him to do it. Another man do it for Great Britain. It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work. He's gone through the pedigree. And he's a certified champion, so you know, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's gonna do it. So it's definitely his place. He's at home. He's focused. He's determined. This is his dream. So you know, there's nothing stopping him.
You were there that night in September last year when he took on Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people. Were you shocked by what you saw that night?
Not shocked. I knew Daniel had it in him. The fact that he had the confidence to go out there, even the ring walk, I could tell he's pretty solid going out there. And I was very happy for him when he won, because that shot came from right field and it met its target. So I was happy for him. I stand on, well, obviously he's seen a weakness in the first fight. So I believe that, you know, there's a weakness there, you got to attack it. And, you know, don't give him no shortcuts, you know, in this fight. You know, this fight's everything. And I know Daniel's a pretty determined and focused fighter, so he's going to be ready for this fight, and that he's going to go out there and he's going to want to win. He's just going to want to win because this is his dream.
Lewis's view was echoed by Ricky Hatton, who believes Dubois' recent victories have given him the confidence he lacked before. When Dubois first fought Usyk, he was still psychologically affected by his loss to Joyce, according to Hatton. Now, after beating fighters like Hrgovic and Joshua, Dubois is riding high. Hatton highlighted how confidence and belief can drastically change a fighter's performance, and he feels Dubois has finally matured into a contender who can genuinely challenge someone like Usyk.
Daniel Dubois, what do you make of that fight? The rematch?
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with the last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and you know, but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance.
Chris Eubank Jr. also threw his support behind Dubois, but admitted his reasoning was more personal than analytical. Apparently, Eubank was irked by comments Usyk made about his controversial fight with Conor Benn. Usyk reportedly said Benn deserved the win, which rubbed Eubank the wrong way. While national pride played a part, it was this offhand comment that ultimately tipped Eubank in Dubois' favor.
I saw something about Usyk saying that he thought Conor Benn won the fight. I don't know if this is true. I can't imagine that he watched that fight and thought that Conor Benn won, because it's just, you know, I landed twice as many punches. But people are telling me it's true. If that's the truth, then I'm low-key rooting for Dubois.
Team Dubois, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's crazy. That's really crazy to me. And I've met Usyk a bunch of times, and we've always been cool, so I was kind of shocked to see that.
Even Dave Allen, who has sparred both men, gave a surprising nod to Dubois this time around. Allen, who once found himself overwhelmed during a sparring session with Usyk, admitted that he's been impressed with Dubois' transformation. From Allen's viewpoint, Dubois is currently in the form of his life and has developed the punching power and ring presence needed to shake up the division. His support for Dubois wasn't based on hype, but on first-hand experience inside the ropes.
I think Dubois is going to beat him. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
The narrative surrounding this fight is one of contrast and convergence. Usyk is the battle-tested master technician, a man who's beaten every elite heavyweight put in front of him, Joshua twice, Fury twice, and has unified belts in 2 weight divisions. Dubois, on the other hand, is the comeback story. Once dismissed as fragile and unproven, he's flipped the script with explosive wins over top-tier opponents. He enters this fight with not just a belt around his waist, but belief in his ability to rewrite history. The rematch also serves as an opportunity for closure. The shadow of their first bout and the controversial low blow ruling still hangs over this rivalry. Even now, figures like Lewis continue to question the legitimacy of that moment. Many fans and pundits will be watching closely on July 19th, not just to see who wins, but to ensure that the refereeing does not become the story again.
I said it to Alexander Usyk, and there's no favoritism here. I think it's Daniel Dubois' time. I think he's a ferocious
I have to agree with
beast. Yeah, absolutely. and I think he deserves all the plaudits. I think what walked into Wembley Stadium was an absolute gladiator, and I'm thrilled for him that he's coming out of himself, growing as a man, becoming more worldly and able to communicate with the media, and I think it's going to be a fabulous fight.
Do you believe that he can get it done inside the distance?
I think he has to get done inside the distance.
Yeah. You don't think he can win on points?
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely. But whatever, July 19th, brilliant fight.
Ultimately, the boxing world is split. Some, like Bellew, Wardley, and Froch, believe Usyk's unmatched skills and experience will carry him to another victory. Others, including Lewis, Hatton, and Allen, see a different version of Dubois, a stronger, more confident fighter with a legitimate chance to shock the world.
He's been sitting back in the background saying, you know, I've been boxing all these fights and, you know, I want respect. And by beating Anthony Joshua, you know, he'll get that respect because he's a quiet guy, doesn't say too much, but you can tell there's a lot of things on his mind, and being a heavyweight champion is what was always on his mind. And even the fact that, you know, he got presented the belt, he wants to prove himself in the ring and go in there and say, yeah, I deserve to keep this belt.
As the clock ticks down to fight night, the anticipation continues to build. This isn't just another title defense or challenge. It's a potential defining moment for both men. Usyk is looking to become a two-time undisputed heavyweight champion, something no one has done in the four-belt era. Dubois is aiming to complete one of the most dramatic turnarounds in recent heavyweight memory. Only one will leave Wembley with all four belts and the right to call themselves the king of the division.